One second. All right. Um, back, like I never left. How's everyone doing this evening? How are you all doing? So, let's see. I want to see if there's something specific that I want to start with. Who's online? Say hi. Who's online? What is this? Um, okay, let me live chat. What do you want to start with? Anything? Okay. I think I'm gonna wait for more people for a reason, but okay. Hi, hi. Okay, okay. Oh yes, I want to start off with crypto. Yes. Thank you to those that have given. Those that have shared along what they have to others. Right? Those that have received, they are grateful. I just want to say for those that have received, even though you don't know who sent you the coins, I just want you to pray for whoever they are. The right prayer will come to you in your place of prayer. I just want you to pray for them, right? Whatever it is that comes to mind, pray for them. The Lord will put it in your heart, right? And again, thank you to those that have given, and also for those that still need to, what's it called? For those that still need help, don't be shy. You being shy is not going to help you get the coins that you need. This is out here and this has been discussed for a reason, right? Because the Lord is providing a way, right? Is providing a way to help you. So you have to take the opportunity to receive the help, right? So, um, wait, okay. Sorry, I was sort of multitasking there. You have to be open to receive the help, right? So, okay, see, Brown. So again, if you still need some help, reach out to me because there's still some people that have reached out to me that they would like to help. But I've really just paired up who the Lord asked me to pair up, like those that need and those that want to give, and whichever way, like, and what the Lord has asked me to let them give them, like whichever coin it is asked me to let them give them. Anyways, so we praise God for that. Thank you all for that have given. May the Lord continue to replenish you. I pray that what you've given will come back to you in double fold. I pray that, God will multiply you and those that have received. I just pray that as you've received that you, when it is multiplied, that you will use it for His glory and for His kingdom, right? That you will spend it according to the way He wants you to spend the money. Because remember, this is not our money, it's the Lord's money, it's for His kingdom, right? Yes, we are going to use it to take care of ourselves, but we can't use everything to take care of yourself, you know. Um, but it is for His people. It is for His people, you know. thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. There are things that the Lord has written in heaven that this is what he wants to accomplish. So as he has written it in heaven, let us be vessels that make sure that his plan, his will is manifested on earth. So let us be a vessel of God that carries out his will, right? Let us be that vessel that makes sure his will is manifested on earth as it is written, as it is said, as it is ordained in heaven, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind and don't get too carried away with the money. Don't get too carried away with the money. Um, so I want to address something for those that have been listening to me for a while. Not to say those are those are that just recently started listening to me. That's fine, but for more so those that have been listening to me for a while. Since the time you've been listening to me up to now, when you started listening to me, some of the issues that you had, and do you still have those issues up to now? If you still have those issues, why? We need to address why. We need to get to the root of that, right? So meaning, are you still going through some form of oppression? Are you still dealing with, do you still need healing? Are you still sick? All these things. We need to deal with it because the point of the Lord having me, placing me on this platform is not to sound good, right? It's for his people to be free. It's to create disciples, right? It's to send you people out, right? So if your issue is still the same, if there's no improvement, then we need to understand why. We need to seek the Lord and ask why. One, is it that it's something that you're doing, right? Two, is it that you are not praying the right prayer? Are you praying amiss, right? Three, is it that the Lord did help you, but you went back, you opened the door again, and then the enemy came back again? Is it that? So whatever the case is, right? We want to know why and want to ask God for solution. What should we do next? What should be done next, right? Because it's not, the Lord doesn't want us to continue to be oppressed. The Lord wants us to be fully equipped, right? It really wants us to be fully equipped. It wants us to be strong warriors, strong soldiers, right? So for those that have been listening to me for a long time, what are some? But then again, some of the issues that some people are still dealing with has to do with believe. If you don't believe God, you won't see a lot of things. I'm telling you, you won't see certain healing if you don't believe God. If you don't believe God, you will not see progress with that. You would not feel free because you are still believing the enemy, and that's the leverage that the enemy has against you and is using that to hold you captive, right? So some people, it is your belief system that needs to be dealt with. What are you believing? It goes back to, I've taught about believing before, about belief before. It goes back to, do you believe when God says that you're free, that you're actually free? I have seen different situations whereby God has said people are free, but then yet they were not free. They were not free, not because God didn't free them. One, they were not free because of unbelief. They were not free because they were free and then they went back to whatever it is, So there are times that, and some people, they were free, but they did not obey God's instruction. So if the Lord is asking you to for example, those that, are sick and God says go and get tested, go to the hospital, go and do this, Um, almost like when Jesus said the man should go present himself to the priest, or to, I can't remember that Bible verse, so don't let me even reference that. Um, but when the Lord gives that instruction and you are delaying, there right there is the root of unbelief. Why are you delaying? If God has said you're free, you have been dealing with something for so long or not so long, why are you delaying? Shouldn't you be jumping up happy that, whoa, the Lord said I'm happy. I need to make sure I want to see this for myself. I want, but rather it's like there's this fear that sort of comes in that you're not actually free. It's like you find it hard to believe. And that is what keeps some people in the same situation. And that's why some people are not healed. Not that the word of God did not go forth and was not manifested, it was. But unbelief, fear came back in, right? And that kept them the same. And some people, disobedience. Because when the Lord says go and do this, it is you walking out your faith. That your faith is what brings a complete healing for some people in some situations, right? The whole faith, the walk of faith to go get tested, to go do, like, jump up. I've been on a call before whereby the Lord was saying that there was a lady's healing, and the instruction was for her to jump up. She was having pain on her leg, but instruction was for her to jump up. But she said no, she can't jump up because wisdom spoke to her that why should she jump up? And I'm just like, you know, refusing to carry out those instructions, refusing to do that is a root of unbelief. You are not believing that if you jump up, that you'll be healed. Because one, it's not making sense to you that how can you just be healed by jumping up? But then again, it's God. It's not gonna make sense. A lot of things is not going to do it the typical way we're used to, right? Um, it's like jump up, you're not jumping up. And something the Lord said to me that day was, though the healing was available that day, she wasn't willing to receive, right? But that doesn't mean that another time there's not another opportunity for her to be healed. There's still more opportunity for those that have, the Lord has said they're healed and find out they're not fully healed because of, and it's not that the Lord's word is not true. It's something that they have done that has caused them to still remain that way or even gotten worse. Some people have been healed but went back to what caused them to be sick. So now it's even worse, right? Some people is just an open door. The enemy is always looking for open doors. We have to be vigilant of that, right? Some people, again, it's unbelief, it's fear. It's not trusting when the Lord said to you, you are healed, that you're actually healed, right? Um, I've said this before, for myself, I had to start believing that I am healed. It started with my chest pain. It was like it was ulcer, whatever it was. It wasn't going, the pain would come, you know, and I was coughing at one point in time. It was like they said it was acid reflux. Due to acid reflux, I was using medication, and that day, that morning, early morning, this pain was so severe, and I started crying out to God, praying. I said, God, I would not stop calling you until you answer me, until you heal me, right? And that morning, I was laying down on the bed, right, and I at that point in time, this was really like when the Lord started to let me sense his presence. I always know when the presence comes in. So I knew there was a present, and I knew my tongue was about to switch. So I just pressed record on my phone because I know I'm going to be saying something I don't understand. As of that time, I could not interpret what I was saying. And I felt it was like it wasn't like the Spirit of God literally entered me. Like my mouth went open. I could not close my mouth and entered me. My whole body was frozen. I was like literally like this on the bed, and I could not move. It was almost like I was watching my body go through something and I was speaking, but I wasn't the one in control. But after that day, I was healed. I did not take medication after that because I believed I was healed. So I used to take medication after the Lord said that you're healed. That is a sign of unbelief. And it can be hard to again, it's easier said than done. Let's just say that. It's easier said than done, right? But we have to take that faith, that leap of faith. We have to trust God. It is it is impossible to please God without faith, right? It is impossible to please Him. And you cannot get to faith if you don't believe, trust. It's believe, trust, faith. So when you're taking that medication, you're not believing God, you're not trusting God, and you don't have faith, right? When God says, go to check yourself, go check if you're ill of cancer, right? Now you going in haste, not and like on time. So you can go on time and you can delay yourself. I mean, I've had people that did for almost a year, they didn't go check up and they were still on this that like it was like you didn't believe. If it was that important for you to be free and healed, if I heard that I'm free, why would I not go? Why would I wait like almost a year before I go and check? Do you get what I mean? So that means you didn't really believe. There has to be action is required when God is saying that. So you actually going on time, right, is saying, I believe this. I trust that God is saying I'm healed. I have faith, so I'm going to work out my faith and go and check and get it tested. And whatever test, cancer test you have to do, you know. I remember Joel the other day when she told me about a daughter-in-law, I believe it was, and we prayed for her. And it was like a week or two after when she came back and said that they've gone and she's free of cancer. And it's like, you see, between 1 week and 2 weeks, it didn't take them a whole month. It didn't take them months, right? So our reaction to you're healed tells you whether you believe or not, right? Tells you whether you are fully healed or not sometimes. Sometimes the Lord will still heal you irrespective of your, because God wants to show you is almighty, right? But there's sometimes if you have seen the hand of God before and it's telling you to do that and you don't do that, at a point in time it's one, walking in disobedience, two, not believing God, right? And that has to be walked on. And not, again, that doesn't mean God is not going to heal you. It just means it wants to work on you in that area, right? So that next time when it does say you're healed, you won't take your sweet time. You will actually go. Now, going back to being free to those that are oppressed, when God says that you're free, you have to believe that you're free. When God said that I was free of certain things, I had to believe it. When God said that I no longer had any spirit spouse, I had to believe it. When I believed, then I saw that there was nothing like spirit spouse anymore. But when you don't believe, that is the enemy winning. That is still giving the enemy open door leverage to continue to work in your life. So sometimes it is as simple as you are free of bondage. You don't even know what God did. Sometimes we can't even feel what God is doing, but is doing something. So when it says you're free from all the chains that have held you back. Do you actually believe that? Or are you, again, I always say, are you waiting to drop down and roll or do, not to say that that does not happen. It happens, but it doesn't happen every time. Some people it's just, and that's it. Some people it's yawning. Some people, they don't even feel anything. But God is doing something. It could be a day later, then it's like their body finally feels light. That there's something. So I'm saying this, that some people, the Lord has set you free, but you did not believe. That is why you still have some of your situations. We're going to address it if the Lord permits. Yes, yes. Is that a yes? Yeah. If the Lord permits, it is permitted, right? And a lot of things I have to do, like walking with God, you gotta believe, trust, have faith. As what I taught yesterday, the ways of God, you gotta believe God, trust, have faith. Faith is power. Faith is power, right? That faith that you have can move mountains. The faith, the little faith I have is what's moving things in my life. The little faith that you have is what's going to move things in your life. So, what level are you at with your faith? 1, do you believe God? 2, do you trust God? Right? Is God enough? Is God enough? Do you trust God? Do you have faith? Can you walk by faith and not by sight? Right? So, before I begin to address those who have been listening to me for a while and they might still be going through some issues, I want you to ask yourself some of these questions I just asked you, right? 1, no, let's start with this. 1, as the Lord said you're free to you in some of in the areas whereby you're still experiencing some issues, as the Lord said that you're free before, as the Lord said that you're healed before. If it is a yes, why do you still have what you have? Is it unbelief? Is it because I was disobedient and I didn't do what I was supposed to do? Is it because I went back to what I was not supposed to go back to? I want you guys to analyze this on your own before we now go through it and let the Lord get to the root for it, take us to the root of the matter, right, of the issue.